Hey, welcome to Magical Musings number 5, called Temporary Discomfort in Doing the Unconventional. If you are new here, Magical Musings is just a short episode of 5 minutes or less, which is all about my musings and ramblings the past couple of months. Now, obviously, this one's been a longer one since the last Magical Musings, which was a couple of months, but I want to share the idea about this temporary discomfort in doing the unconventional. And it stems from a conversation that I had with my therapist. Ooh, check you out. Yes, I've got a therapist. How weird is that? No longer. I did a free trial on an app and it was fantastic. And I'm going to make a podcast episode about this because it's so bloody brilliant. A few months ago, I had a slight issue, which I was dealing with some stuff, with some kind of mental health issues. I guess that would be the easiest way to describe it, about experiencing something in my line of work. And I just couldn't understand how to deal with it. So I seek some help to talk about this idea of chaos. And I will talk about this in more detail in a longer episode coming out soon. But a lot of this came from the idea of living through some discomfort of the unknown, of fear, of anxiety. Obviously, when I started this podcast, we were in the middle of a lockdown. Obviously, now as the world has kind of gone back to normal, I've now started to experience life as what it should have been before lockdown, as I left my career to go full time to pursue my passion. And I've experienced a couple of moments this year that's made me think, is this really it? Is this really why I am supposed to be here? And I couldn't understand how I was feeling whilst I was having a little bit of anxiety and a little bit of shock and some physiology. There was some really strange stuff going on with my own physiology, which I'll talk more about, obviously, on another episode. So I seek some help to understand this. And in a nutshell, we talked about how I've shared this in the past with on previous episodes about my conditioning and the constructs that I've built in my life from playing quite safe, as a kid, and not really taking risks. And there was this idea that we shared about how, life is quite chaotic. Life is chaos, that, it doesn't run smoothly all the time. But actually, that's quite a healthy thing. Now, for me, going through such a safe, stable, secure job, for 15 years, knowing exactly what I was going to be getting every single month, every paycheck, that's quite a safe position to be in. Then obviously when you leave that and then you go run a business where you have to seek work to pay for your mortgage, the redundancy has now run out. I can't rely on that set of income, and I've got to go take responsibility to find money, to find work. It was a huge shock. And I've got to say that 2020, as you know, through previous episodes, that this was such a big traumatic experience in my life, and I think not at the time, but now later on in life, compounding, that's had an impact on me where I've started to just really worry about things that are just completely not in my control. But that's how that anxiety forms. Anxiety is the fear of the future or the fear of the unknown. And now I've kind of had some therapy, which was absolutely fantastic. I've started to really understand, and my therapist said this fantastic thing, which was all about how the world is chaotic, but actually that's healthy because that allows us to grow, that allows us to stretch ourselves, that allows us to, step out of our comfort zone every now and then. And actually that is it's a discomfort, but it's actually temporary. And this kind of links to a lot of things that I do in my life about risks that I take, and I take full responsibility for the risks in my life, whereas previous conditioning, probably with family, don't understand the risks that I take. Obviously I still say this, I say a lot when my mum and dad said, how are you going to pay your mortgage, Ricky, when you go full time? Now, obviously that's because of conditioning and constructs, which I'm now aware, which we'll share. However, the idea of this was about this temporary discomfort in doing the unconventional. By taking risks, by jumping into the unknown, it is temporary discomfort, but there is also permanent discomfort in living life as a template. So I'm going to share this lovely little thing to kind of wrap up this little Magical Musings, which is from a book called Do Epic Shit by Ankur Warikoo, which I'm going to do a podcast episode all about this episode. It's fantastic, lovely little Bible that you can just pick up, open, and reveal some good stuff. So I'll read this out to you. There is temporary discomfort in doing the unconventional. There is permanent discomfort in living life as a template. It is going to be scary and uncomfortable walking your own path. But guess what? What's even more scary is to walk by the path that everyone walks on, only to realise you never wanted to walk on that path. It is indeed a lot of resistance to break the chains of convention and do your own thing. However, it saves you from a ton of inner resistance for the rest of your life, allowing for the path you could take and the regrets you could avoid and the joy you could accomplish. Just by doing the unconventional and resisting the obvious, you can be yourself and be reboot for a year. Or you can be someone else and never face yourself in the mirror. Why choose the latter when the former is the easy springboard to jump away from the herd? And this is exactly what's been going on with me, where I've been taking a lot of risks, a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of unknown of is this the right thing, experiencing some moments which I thought was this is where my life should be, and actually I don't think it is. I'm thinking that there's something bigger and better that I've got, which I'll share more about soon. But again, that's just the idea of this Magical Musings, that life is quite chaotic, which is healthy. That is a good, healthy balance to have that, rather than just playing it safe. But it's just temporary discomfort. Stepping out of your comfort zone, doing something new, doing something different, doing something that's scary is only temporary discomfort. You know, there's permanent discomfort in living life as just a template. So there you go. There's just a little thing about a little teaser of some episodes that are coming up, but just really taking on this idea. If you are listening to this, that you're going through some struggles at the minute, you're maybe running a business or in your career or in your job, and you're a bit worried about something in the future, then actually accept that actually that's okay. It is okay to feel like that way, and it is okay to accept that it is chaotic, that things don't always go to plan, but it's just temporary discomfort, because the future is endless possibilities. Who knows what the future is, has in store for you? The future will take care of itself. Try to live in the present and just enjoy this moment. And as I said on the previous musings, just keep on swimming. So there you go. Magical Musings number 5, temporary discomfort in doing the unconventional. Hope you enjoyed this one. We'll reveal more about the therapist and the great conversation I had about constructs. It was fascinating. Highly recommend it. And I'll talk about that coming soon. Let's get this podcast ended. Here we go. I'll do a little segue to the end. Thank you to everyone, obviously, who always listens to the podcast. I appreciate you, the listener, who's listening to this right now. If you did enjoy it, then don't forget, head over to Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, leave us a review. It takes about 3 seconds. Let us know what you think to this episode, and I'll join you on another episode of Unlocked. Good luck in unlocking the best version of yourself. Goodbye.